大坝要开口子了，大坝要开口子，完了，大坝决堤了，可完了，大坝决堤，看看。
On July 18, heavy rainfall in the territory of Morin, Hulunbeier, Inner Mongolia, caused 2 upstream reservoir dams to break their dikes. The flood washed away a national highway in Morin, and 22 bridges were destroyed, leading to road disruptions and inundating villages and fields with floodwater. On July 19, the Chinese Ministry of Water Resources stated on their website that between July 17 and 18, heavy rainfall fell in Morin Dawa Autonomous Banner, Hulunbeier City, Inner Mongolia, with the maximum amount of rainfall reaching 223 millimeters. At approximately 2 p.m. on July 18, in the territory of Morin, the Yong'an Reservoir on the Shiwa-2 River, a tributary of the Morin River, collapsed. The normal capacity for this reservoir is around 8 million cubic meters. At about 3 p.m. on the same day, the dam collapsed at Xinfa Reservoir, a dam downstream from the Yong'an Reservoir. The straight-line distance between the two reservoirs is 13 kilometers. On July 21, China's Dam Safety Supervision Center and the Ministry of Emergency Management released an investigative report stating that it was the extreme rainstorm that caused the water level in the Yong'an Reservoir to surge, which in turn blocked the connecting dam section of the reservoir, producing a breach, which then led to the dam failure of the Yong'an Reservoir. The floodwater generated by the Yong'an Dam failure rapidly filled the Xinfa Reservoir. The Xinfa Reservoir has a capacity of 38 million cubic meters and has a spillway on its right bank, which is not controlled by gates and is used for natural regulation of downstream flooding. Due to the large volume of flooding from the Yong'an Dam failure, the spillway at the Xinfa Reservoir was no longer able to control the discharge, and the floodwater surged over the top of the dam, causing instability of the dam's core, which eventually led to the dam failing. A report states, in dam safety management and dam safety assessment, special attention should be paid to changes in the flood design standard, and a timely review of the flood discharge capacity of the project should be completed. It appears to imply that the flood release capacity of the Xinfa Reservoir was not up to standard. Chinese official media reported that the breach forced the evacuation of 16,000 people. The breach flooded approximately 132,000 hectares of farmland and damaged 22 bridges, in addition to 124 culverts and 15.6 kilometers of roadway. Local officials said the floodwaters have merged into the primary stream of the Neng River, causing no casualties, but the total damage caused by the breaches remains unknown. Local citizens reported that the rainfall caused interruptions in communications for local mobile users. On July 19, a local villager told the Mainlands, The Cover, that her crops were destroyed, but her house was fine, and that her cell phone had intermittent service. Another villager, Mr. Lee, said he was unable to return to his hometown because the roads were washed away and were inaccessible. He is unable to return home to assess the damage to his property. He has more than 120 acres of farmland planted with rice, which he suspects has been washed away. There are more than 50 rivers of different sizes in the Morin Dawa Autonomous Banner with an annual runoff of 14.74 billion cubic meters, accounting for about 40% of the water resources for the entire Inner Mongolia region. On the evening of July 19, Wang Weiluo, a water conservancy expert living in Germany, told overseas Chinese media that there was a distance of 13 kilometers between the two dams that broke in Inner Mongolia, and that it took at least 20 minutes for water to travel from the upstream reservoir to the downstream dam. It was perfectly possible to send a warning downstream to notify people to evacuate with a 20-minute warning. The two reservoirs that breached are relatively small compared to other reservoirs in China. So, how could the collapse of two small reservoirs destroy over 20 bridges? Wang said he thinks it's due to the large number of bridges built everywhere in China, and its primary purpose is to boost the local GDP. Even in the small, remote areas of Inner Mongolia, the local government has built many bridges, Wang stated. Wang said what he feared the most is that the water fails to wash out the bridge, in which case debris swept along by the floodwaters, including trees and garbage, could form a dangerous dam under the bridge. If the water flow is blocked, it could create a very high water level. When it collapses and the debris is eventually washed away, it would be even more destructive. So, in some cases, it's better for the bridges to completely collapse to avoid unwanted damming, he explained. In summary, building dams on rivers carries a high risk. Current data indicates that China has more than 98,000 dams, of which more than 95% are constructed of earth and rock and are older, built before the 1980s. At the same time, China also has the largest number of dams in the world that are over 200 meters high, with 20 of the world's 77 dams over 200 meters, accounting for 26% of all dams of that height. In addition, of the 19 dams being constructed around the globe that are 200 meters or higher, 12 of them are being constructed in China. Once constructed, it will make China home to approximately 63% of all dams of that height in the world. Back in August 2013, the Chinese media 163.com published a report titled, "Dangerous Chinese Dams, 179 Cities Face Dam Collapse." According to the article, at the time, more than 84,000 small and medium-sized reservoirs in China lacked funds for management and maintenance, resulting in dam collapses occurring on a regular basis. It seems that in a country where quality is not guaranteed, the vast number of dams and bridges in China represent a future hazard with both large and small risks.